Question number 1. As the incident commander, what are your actions at this fire? This is how I will answer question 1 at this time. 1. I will establish command. Using the incident management system, I will become the incident commander at this fire. I will locate the command post and I will identify the command post. I will label the command post. I will size up the incident using the 13-point size up. Construction of the building, the location, duration, and extent of the fire will determine my tactics. I will give my initial report to the incident to dispatch. I will identify the construction type, and I will order any additional resources that I will need to fight this fire. I will have to establish a effective command post. So my resources would include personal accountability officer and incident safety officer, police for crowd and traffic control, multiple EMS units for possible victims. I will need PSC&G to respond to shut off the gas and utilities. I will need the salt team to melt any ice. I will order the incoming companies to establish an effective water supply. The first due engine will wrap a large diameter hose at most accessible hydrant and pull past the fire building, leaving room for the truck company to perform horizontal and vertical ventilation and perform search and rescue. I will need a RIT team in place for firefighter safety. That's how I will answer question 1 at this time. Question number 2. What steps would you take to ensure the safety of all firefighters on the fire ground? 1. I will need a safety officer. All members will wear full personal protective equipment, self-contained breathing apparatus, SCBA will have to have a pass alarm. All firefighters will have lights, radios, rescue ropes, and egress ropes, personal ropes. There will be an accountability officer in place. The accountability system will be in place, and all members will have 2 accountability tags. One they will keep on themselves, and the other will be on a ring that is given to the accountability officer. There will be an accountability officer for every entrance and exit from the building. Firefighters should use the same exit as they enter, so this would make the accountability officer better able to keep track of them. I will need a firefighter rehab and relief unit. I will need an officer to manage that area. Firefighter stress management is essential at any incident. Most firefighters will try to do too much. I will establish the incident management system. We will work from a single operational plan. We will transmit additional alarms for manpower and rehab and relief purposes. We will give a personal accountability report every 15 minutes at least. We will have to give a situational status report and tell of our progress or lack thereof. Hopefully it's progress. We will have a thermal imaging camera while searching. This will make search more effective, and also it will make it quicker. You can see through the smoke. This is how I'll answer question 2 at this time. Question number 3. As the ladder company captain, how would you conduct the primary search of this fire building? I will answer question 3 as follows. I will ventilate the search area to help remove smoke and increase visibility. I will enter the room, closing doors to confine the fire and keep it to the point of origin while searching. I will search the room, maintaining contact with my partner and the wall, using a thermal imaging camera to improve visibility. I will exit, looking for windows, doors, and fire escape and or ladders for a secondary means of egress. I will report my progress through a situational status report to the incident commander. I will report fire conditions or any hazards found. I will coordinate actions with other fire companies. I will coordinate fire attack with ventilation. I will note all windows and doors while searching. I will feel doors before opening for excessive heat. I will crack doors, maintaining the integrity of the door to make sure that I can keep myself safe from fire. I will check behind me for a door to see if I can have a place of refuge should the conditions worsen. I will always know my way out of the fire building. I will always have a safe egress for my men. That's how I'll answer question 3 at this time. Question number 4. What are your concerns in fighting a fire of this type of construction? This construction is wood frame. It can collapse early without warning. There are open interior stairs. This can be a problem for escape of occupants and firefighters. I will have to protect the egress of the stairs. The entire building is combustible. This is a problem. There's exposure problems, and there's fast fire travel in the void spaces. A common attic space, pipe chases, channel rails, all places fire can travel. Everything is combustible in this building. Fire getting into the attic area is a major fire concern. You have to coordinate ventilation with fire attack. That's how I'll answer question 4 at this time. Okay. Now, Madison Avenue Strip Mall. Question number 1. As the incident commander, what are your concerns with this type of building construction? This is how I'll answer question 1 at this time. Unprotected steel bar joists are a major concern. The fire gets into the area and spreads quickly. Bar joists can fail within 5 to 10 minutes and cause a major collapse and a fire hazard to firefighters. Wide spacing of the roof joists, 6 to 8 feet, is also a problem. To get on this roof would mean that firefighters would be in danger of making a cut and sliding into the cut and into the fire because of the weak Q decking. It's very thin and not very strong. The wide space and 2 cuts and you're going to fall into the building because the 20-foot Q decking sheet does not, the end does not have to fall on a support of the joist. It can just fall in between the joists. So if you were to make a cut on this roof, you should make it 20 to 30 feet away from the fire hazard. You should cut an inspection hole to find out where the joists are. Maybe you shouldn't even be on this roof at all. You'd have to, I would not let my firefighters step on this roof. If there were heavy fire in the truss, they would have to, if the roof had to be vented, they can make it off of the end of a bucket, secured with a ladder belt, and never even have to step on the roof. They would have to note any obstructions before they raised the aerial. Before they got on the roof, they would have to notify the incident commander of any dead loads such as an HVAC system. They would have to be concerned with metal deck roof fire. This fire would have to be knocked down. You'd have to coordinate fire attack with ventilation of this building. So before I can order my members to ventilate, I would have to make sure the engine company had a 2.5-inch hose line at the door, putting water on the joists. The extension of the water can get deep into the joist, cool the joist to take away the threat of the metal bar joist sagging and causing the collapse of the roof. I'd have to be concerned with the common cockloft in this building. Over 5 stores, I'd have to ventilate each store and check for extension via the common cockloft, since there are no fire stops. There's general poke-through holes, so all 5 stores in this strip mall are an exposure problem, and they would have to be dealt with. There's a steel lintel beam over the entire structure, over the show windows, which means there's a parapet wall. Fire that elongates the steel lintel beam supporting the parapet wall, combined with the metal tie rods that hold the whole wall in section, in one section, can fall in a 90-degree collapse across the entire front of the building. If one part of the wall fell, the whole thing would fall in a sort of like a wave, and that whole front of the building is a danger area. You'd have to consider a collapse zone of 1.5 times the building. If fires spread into this cockloft space and got into a rapid fire spread, you'd have to switch into a defensive mode, you'd have to flank this building and hit it with a master stream. That's how I will answer question 1 at this time. Question number 2. What are the necessary steps to safely vertically ventilate this type of roof? I covered a lot of that in question number 1, but I will answer it again here in question number 2. I will coordinate between the interior hose team and exterior roof team making the cut. The interior hose team uses the reach of the 2.5-inch master stream to cool the roof supports. You cannot cut directly over the fire, however you can move back 20 to 30 feet and make your cut there. The roof team will work in teams of 2. There will be no freelancing. Notify the incident commander of the conditions found at the roof level via the roof radio. Check for hot spots and check the roof's integrity before getting on the building. The fire officer's responsibility is to make sure that his members will not enter a condition that is life-threatening to the firefighters. Firefighter safety, civilian safety, and incident stabilization and property conservation are all to be considered, but life safety first and always first. We'll ensure a secondary means of egress. We will work with the wind at our backs, ensuring that a member does not fall into the cut. One member will hold the coat of the other member making the cut. We'll start the saw on the ground, then we will shut it off before hoisting. This ensures that when you get on the roof, it will be 1 pull instead of 2 or 3. You start it on the ground, it starts up real quick. When you get it to the roof, it's 1 pull and it starts. When the task is complete, we will immediately evacuate the roof. We will make sure that the minimum amount of members possible are on the roof to make this cut, put less members in harm's way. I'd like to say that metal bar joist is not a situation that you should get on that roof. That's how I will answer question 2 at this time. Question number 3. The fire is gaining headway and fast spread at this fire. What actions would you take to ensure the safety of crews operating at this fire? This is how I will answer question 3 at this time. I will immediately sound a mayday. This will clear all channels. The mayday is because rapid fire in a truss-constructed metal bar joist roof is a collapse hazard. Collapse hazard is a reason for a mayday. There's 6 reasons for a mayday. That's one of them. The other 5 are firefighter trapped or missing, firefighter unconscious, firefighter lost, firefighter missing, collapse potential, or collapse has happened. Collapse potential is a serious problem in this structure. Heavy fires in the cockloft. We will have to sound the air horns and evacuate the whole area. Establish a collapse zone. All personnel shall immediately exit the structure, interior and exterior. They should evacuate all exposures. They should conduct a roll call, and the roll call, the personal accountability roll call, shall be forwarded to the incident commander. We'll strike additional alarms, and the stage companies will be activated to set up defensive master streams. We will evacuate all exposures, and we will establish a perimeter with barrier tape. We will prepare for master stream operations. We will protect and evacuate all exposures. We will keep people from entering the danger area. We will use the distance of the master streams to keep firefighters safe from outside the collapse zones. We will flank this building and fight it from there. We will monitor the structure. There will be a rapid intervention crew in place for safety purposes of the firefighter operations. This is how I will answer question number 3 at this time. Nicholas Street Fire. Question number 1. What are your actions? 1. I will establish command. 2. I will perform size up of the incident and the conditions. 3. I will give an initial radio report to dispatch. 4. I will call for additional alarms and resources. My resources would include a staging officer to stage the additional alarms. I will instruct the incoming units of their duties. They would know what they're to do with this fire based on the standard operating guidelines to wood frame buildings. There's standard operating procedures. All members will work from a single operational plan. And I would have to establish a staging area and a manager. I will have to have a safety officer in place to monitor the structure. I will have to have a rapid intervention crew in place to ensure the safety of all firefighters working at this incident. I will have to have an accountability officer and accountability system in place to keep all firefighters accounted for, which would promote safety. There will have to be a rehab unit for stress management and debriefing area where all firefighters can share their knowledge while they recover from any duties that they performed on the fire ground. This would also organize the fire ground. We will need police for crowd and traffic control. We will need EMS for triage, treatment, and transport. We will need utility company, gas, electric, and water. We have to control for the scene. We need Red Cross for any citizens that are put out of their house because of the fire. That's how we'll answer question number 1 at this time. Question number 2. Additional resources have arrived. Explain your hose line placement for this incident. This is a balloon frame construction house. First, I would have to get a hose line into the cellar, since this is a cellar fire, and to the seat of the fire. Then I would have to get a second hose line to the first floor to prevent the spread of the balloon frame construction. The third line I would have to put into the attic to extinguish any vertical extension. I'd also have to cut a hole in the roof to vent any of the gases. The fire can spread very rapidly in this type of building. I would have to position one radio-equipped crew member at the top of the stairs to warn of changing fire conditions in the cellar. And roof ventilation will definitely be required. I will protect the interior open stairway with a backup line, and I will protect the main means of egress in this building. That's how I will answer question number 2 at this time. Question number 3. In regard to hazard awareness, what are the 6 firefighter survival survey questions? The firefighter questions survey is as follows. 1. What is the occupancy? 2. Where are the occupants? 3. Where is the fire? 4. How do we get in? 5. How do we get out when things go wrong? And 6. What is happening to the building? That is how I will answer the scenario at this time. Fire-resistive high-rise fire. Question number 1. What building systems should be controlled, utilized to assure efficient evacuation and fire attack? This is how I will answer question number 1 at this time. 1. I will have to recall all elevators to the lobby. I'll have to do a quick search of the elevators for any victims that may have been down by smoke on the upper floors. And I will have to press the call cancel button. I will have to get control of the public address system. This can be an aid in firefighter communication should the building not be equipped with the new antenna that are running through some of the newer buildings where the radios will work inside the buildings. You cannot assume that the radios will work inside the buildings, so you can take control of the public address system, and this should aid in communication. You got to get control of the fire enunciator panel. The central control station is also called. You can put a staging officer in this area to control the panel and to find out where the fire is, if it's definitely where it was reported. In this case, I believe it was the 17th floor. We got to gain control of the floor phones. These are the house phones. They're also known as the floor warden stations. They're hardwired telephones. These are on the floors. They can also be used. We have to gain control of the lobby phone. We have to also gain control of the fire pumps. This is very important. There is no HVAC system in this building. The compartmentation will confine the fire to a couple of rooms. There's possible auto exposure from the windows of lapping fire from the window to the upper floor, so you would send a crew up there and check for fire extension. We'll have to gain control of the sprinklers and the standpipe system. We have to pump both with a large diameter hose. You pump both sprinklers and the standpipes, one line to each. Also, we will control the stairway. We will designate a stairway for attack, for ventilation, and one for rescue, should we need the rescue stair. That is how I will answer question number 1 at this time. Question number 2. It is determined that the fire is located on number 17 on the north side. The incident commander orders your crew to attack the fire. How do you proceed? Well, my job as the first due engine company is to locate, confine, and extinguish the fire. So, my members will wear full personal protective equipment, self-contained breathing apparatus with the pass alarm set in the arm position. The chauffeur will supply the sprinkler and the standpipe system. The standpipe hose, 1 3/4 inch nozzle and connections will be brought up in the high-rise pack. We will check in with the accountability officer. We will tag in. We will take the elevators to the 15th floor. But before we do this, we will have to do the elevator survey. We have to make sure that there is no smoke in the shaft by shining the light up in the shaft. After we do the elevator, we press the call cancel button. A couple floors at a time, we go up, make sure that you have the elevator functioning properly, and then we take the elevator to the 15th floor, which would be 2 floors below the fire. We'll confirm the location of the fire through the annunciator panel. We will designate an attack stairway, stairway A. We will hook up to the standpipe 1 floor below the fire floor in case we should have to back down the stairs and maintain the water supply. That's why you don't do it above the fire floor, because then you can roast. No roasting. Okay. We can stretch up the stairway to the 17th floor and proceed to the fire apartment. We will locate, confine, and extinguish the fire, which was our objective from the beginning. Okay. That's how we'll answer question number 2 at this time. Question number 3. What elevator safety precautions do you and your crew take while ascending to attack the fire? Now, this is how I'll answer question 3 at this time. First of all firefighters will be in full personal protective equipment, SCBA donned, or ready to be donned. SCBA stands for self-contained breathing apparatus. We will use only firefighter service elevators. These elevators are designed to be safe for firefighters looking to get up into the fire building. You will not use the elevators if the fire is on the 8th floor or below. You will hit the call cancel button to cancel anything that was there before you, so this doesn't bring you up to the floor that you are not expecting. You will have all forcible entry and egress tools in possession that you will need. You will take the cover off of the elevator top so that you can see if there's any smoke, and if there's smoke as you go higher in the shaft, you can get off of the elevator even before you were supposed to on the 15th floor, should you experience some conditions that you weren't expecting. You will shine the light up in the shaft between the doors before you get on the elevator to make sure there's no smoke in the shaft. And you will do periodic precautionary stops just to make sure that the elevator is still working. That's how I'll answer question 3 at this time. Question number 4. As opposed to a lightweight office high-rise, what construction features in this building will be beneficial to firefighting forces? This is how I will answer question 4 at this time. This building is more has more compartmentation, is more compartmentalized. So the fire will be contained within the brick walls. It can blow out a window. You can vent windows in this structure, unlike other high-rises where the windows won't open. The windows in this one will. There are fewer concealed spaces for fire to hide. There's no HVAC system in this building. The stairways all open at the roof level, so you can vertically ventilate the stair shafts, and you can evacuate using the stair shafts. You can control the smoke in this building and prevent mushrooming. Some considerations you'd have to worry about in this type of building, high-rise, is mushrooming and the stack effect and reverse stack effect. That's how I will answer question 4 at this time. Scenario number 7. Powell high-rise fire. Question number 1. State the general functions of support personnel assigned to ladder companies and which applies to this scenario. Well, the general functions of ladder companies, which applies to this scenario and which applies to any scenario, are as follows. I will 1. Ladder the building. This will be done for egress purposes and search purposes. 2. We will overhaul the building. Overhaul to get ahead of the fire, check for extension, and prevent its spread of going any further, cutting off the fire. 3. We will ventilate. We'll ventilate for life, and we will vent for fire. We will horizontally vent for life, looking for victims while opening windows to prevent fire from getting between the occupants and the means of egress. You will protect egress. You will force entry, or we will force entry, and establish a secondary means of egress. We will do a primary search and rescue of the building. We will salvage, and we will control the utilities. We will light the area to ensure firefighter safety, and we may have to set up master streams, whether they're aerial ladders or platform streams, aerial streams, some sort of master stream. We will have to gain control of the utilities, the mechanical equipment room. We will have to control the HVAC system, the fire pumps. We will have to search the elevators. We will have to... That's how I will answer question number 1 at this time. Question number 2. What building systems must the fire department gain control of at a high-rise fire? 1. They must control the elevators. 2. The HVAC system. 3. The building communication system. 4. The fire pumps. 5. Stairways and the stairway designations. 6. They will have to gain control of the fire annunciator panel. Silence alarms for better communications on the fire ground. And locate the fire in the annunciator panel and see if they match with the reported fire. If they don't match, if there's conflicting reports about where smoke is, they could have gotten into the HVAC system, so you have to control the HVAC system and prevent the smoke from getting throughout the whole building. That's how I will answer question 2 at this time. Question number 3. What are the major disadvantages of newer style high-rise buildings? This is how I will answer question 3 at this time. The use of lightweight building materials and the presence of truss construction in these large buildings is a serious problem, like they are with any building. Truss is bad news. As soon as you find it, you should report it. Larger and more open floor spaces, less compartmentation, as opposed to a project fire with poured-in-place concrete and more compartmentation. These have large open floor spaces, fire loads, heavy fire, Very bad. Bad news. Hung ceilings throughout plenum spaces can cause a firefighter trap if it collapses. Also, it stores gases, has all the major utilities running through it. It's a backdraft hazard, and the backdraft inside the plenum space gets the ceiling material to explode downward onto the firefighter, trapping them in the wire. You have to be very careful with the plenum spaces. Core construction techniques in these buildings are a problem. Windows that don't open are a serious problem. There's no way for people to vent these fires. That's how I'll answer question number 2 at this time. Oh no, that's question 3. Sorry. Alright. I'm done with that. Next. With regards to your size up, how will weather, time of day, and street conditions affect your operations? This is how I will answer question 1 at this time. First, it requires additional alarms for manpower, weather. If it's freezing, you have sluggish conditions. You go through more firefighters. There's more of a turnover, so you will need additional manpower. The time of day is a problem because there's a serious rescue problem. Serious rescue problem means hurried operations, which means when you're hurried to do something, there's more likely that you can have problems. So hurried operations in a freezing condition, more men. Street conditions, okay. So I said, requires additional alarms, more frequent rehabilitation, slower operations. You can ice, you slip and fall. You have equipment failure. You can have frozen hydrants and frozen burst hose lines. Can slow operations, no water. If there's more of a danger of firefighters getting hurt. If you have no water, you can't put the fire out. You get jammed up. Slower response times, slower reflex time it's called. That's a problem. So if it takes you longer to get to the fire because of snow, it means the fire has longer to gain headway, which means you need more people. Apparatus malfunction is a problem. Possible double parked cars or snow blocked hydrants are a problem. That is how I will answer question number 1 at this time. Question number 2. How will you ensure the safety of crews conducting primary search at this large area structure? I will require team search operations. I require a switch of all rescue radio traffic to a separate channel. I will place a large floodlight at the entranceway. I will secure an end of a rope outside structure and also secure all